Welcome back to Stat Plus. Our goal is to enable smarter conversations on India's economy, global markets, and critical policy decisions wherever you go. The U.S. Federal Reserve's decision to pause rate cuts in June, contrary to the Trump administration's expectations, may actually strengthen India's position in the ongoing trade negotiations. This development comes at a critical juncture when underlying inflationary pressures are building beneath seemingly stable headline numbers in the United States. Fed Chair Jerome Powell's recent observations about tariff impact transmission reveal a key vulnerability in the current U.S. trade strategy. While Powell noted that tariff impacts on consumer prices take time to work their way through the chain of distribution, he acknowledged that the effects haven't yet materialized in May's Consumer Price Index, which remained at 2.4%. This temporal lag is creating a false sense of price stability that Trump has repeatedly cited to pressure the Fed into accelerating rate cuts. However, the administration's urgency for monetary easing suggests they anticipate significant inflationary pressures ahead. The evidence is already visible in wholesale markets. The Producer Price Index, PPI, which measures wholesale inflation or prices paid by businesses for goods and services, shows processed goods inflation surged to 1.9% in May, reaching a two-year high. This spike directly correlates with the interim tariffs imposed since April, averaging 10% for most countries, alongside sector-specific duties and penalties for some nations. The wholesale price acceleration in processed goods, precisely the categories most affected by import tariffs, signals that inflationary pressures are building in the supply chain and will inevitably transmit to consumer prices in coming months. This creates a policy dilemma for the Trump administration, as higher consumer prices could undermine political support for aggressive trade policies and limit fiscal flexibility. Compounding these domestic pressures, West Asian conflicts are driving global crude oil prices higher, adding another inflationary vector that the U.S. cannot control through trade policy. Interestingly, forcing an intervention by the U.S. and its allies in the region appears designed partly to trigger higher energy costs, creating additional pressure on America's ability to sustain aggressive tariff policies and trade blockages. This is an evolving development, and it is clear that the Trump administration is engaging in conversations with global leaders to better assess the undercurrents. On the topic of inflation, while the U.S. government cites certain mitigating factors, such as recent reductions in egg prices, as signs of easing price pressures, these are predominantly temporary adjustments. The egg price drop is a specific instance where prices have merely reverted to normal levels following earlier spikes caused by supply disruptions due to bird flu. Such short-term relief factors are unlikely to sustain long-term price stability. This evolving economic landscape positions India advantageously in trade negotiations with the U.S. Rather than being compelled into unfavorable concessions, India now stands at an opportune juncture to pursue mutually beneficial trade dialogues. Importantly, one unstated intention of U.S. tariff policies appears to be to elevate multiple countries toward the global number 2 GDP rank, an outcome that can significantly benefit India in the long run. At Stat Plus, we aim to equip you with the insights needed to engage in smarter conversations, whether you're at work, school, the gym, or catching up with friends over coffee. Now, we would love to hear your thoughts. Should India take advantage of this strategic moment to push aggressively in trade negotiations, or adopt a more cautious wait-and-watch approach? Let us know in the comments. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to keep updated with the latest developments. Stay informed, stay ahead. See you in the next video.